Nice. Okay,
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order.
all right.
We'll start with roll call.
All right, Vice Chair Kate Truesdale,
Here.
Mark Husbands is not present. Karen Miller,
Here.
Cody Phelps,
Here.
Stephen Young.
Here.
We have Councilmember Jim Woodward.
Present.
We have Englewood School Liaison Gary Manfrey.
Present.
Excused, we have Chair Christine Adams. Oh,
And Christina's on.
I'm here, present.
oh, you are there. Okay. And staff, we have Director Christina Underhill, Open Space Manager Adrian Torres, Recreation Manager Allison Boyd. We have Recreation Supervisor Nancy Baum. Is that how you?
Yeah.
And Recreation Supervisor Shelley Fritz-Pelly. And Mark Husbands has arrived. All right, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to approval of the March minutes.
I'll move.
Okay, we have a move. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, who moved?
Christine did.
Okay. And Karen, you seconded?
Sure.
Was
It's fine. All right,
who?
and then all those in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, with that, we will move on to, no scheduled public comment. Okay, so new business, introduction of staff and programming.
Yeah, so I'll have Allison, if you wanna, everybody knows Allison, and then, we have a couple of our staff will be fairly new, so I'll let you each introduce yourselves and, what you do here.
Okay, well, I'm Nancy Baum. I'm the new recreation supervisor here at Malley. I've been here since the start of December, which feels like 5 minutes ago. And so my program areas are cultural arts. So we have a thriving pottery program and drawing and painting program here, as well as some drop-in woodworking, drop-in painting studio. So that's really popular. And then also I do a lot of enrichment and education classes. So I'm bringing in a lot of resources for folks, Social Security Administration, the state health insurance program, Dr. Cog Choice Services Program. So lots of resources for seniors to help with food insecurity, transportation in their community, healthcare assistance, all that good stuff. So lots of resources. We also have a buzz room here with plenty of resources for seniors as well. In addition to that, we have sponsorship programs for Malley as well. And then I'm in charge of special events for the center as well. So lots of exciting things. And excursions, that's like, sorry, I wrote a list so much. Speaking of special events, I'll just touch on our Active Aging Expo coming up on Thursday, April 27th from 3 to 6. We have about 50 vendors. In the past, we've had about 400 people attend, so it's kind of an exciting event. And of course, you're all welcome to come. It's free. There's no fee. Let's see, what else? Something new and exciting that I'm doing is the 55 Plus Adventure Series. And so a lot of times people get stuck in their ways with seniors and think they just want to sit and play bingo or play cards, right? But there's a huge spectrum of people who love recreation, and especially in the world of seniors. So I'm offering, we're doing an e-bike and reservoir ride, thank you. And then a paddle and pub. We're gonna paddle around Chatfield and then go out to eat after that. And then we're doing a rock climbing series as well. So just trying some new things to see what folks are interested in. And it's been a pleasure to be at Malley. It's a really, really lovely space. So thank you for having me today.
It's very busy.
Oh, that's Shelley.
That's really good. That's people.
I'm Shelley, and thank you all for coming.
I am the fitness and facility for recreation here. So I do all of the fitness drop-ins and the front desk. So that's what I do. We will be having the drop-in movie. We are going to be streaming 80 for Brady tomorrow. And we are moving it into the ballroom because I have a feeling we're going to be having a big. So is it? I have not seen it yet, so.
I don't.
We'll have a side of that. So, yeah.
Kelly does everything here. She's like the master of
Could
managing.
you speak on what's going on with the LA?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Either one.
So the Volunteers of America luncheon program that we have is a congregate meal site here, and actually Volunteers of America are building a new kitchen up in Commerce City. And it was supposed to be open this week. However, they had to push it back because their center is not done yet. So hopefully we will have our congregate meal site back the 1st of May. So we're hoping that that will work.
So we are providing.
Yes, they are.
It's kind of ground level.
Yes, and some of them come in and sit down and eat, and some of them just take it and go. So we'll see them once a week, so hopefully they will all come back and enjoy it, and we'll have to do something special.
Yeah.
So.
Visiting nurses.
Visiting nurses this week.
Oh, Independence Day luncheon was a huge success, so people are coming. Let's.
Do the normal.
That was a huge hit.
I did Irish stew instead of corned beef and cabbage, so.
From scratch. And Pilates, you know, about Pilates.
It is very popular. We have 8 reformers. And most of our classes are filled with the 8 reformers, and we only have 1 instructor. So if you know of anyone that is a Pilates instructor, please send them my way.
Or CDL driver.
Or-
Yeah.
That we're also doing another studio. Yes.
Yeah, I think the staff is doing a really great job with programming and listening to the community and what they want. And then we kind of started an initiative last year to really push those essential services. We have that senior safety series in the fall that was started by kind of a member and help promote that. Really focusing on safety. It's a free event. We had lunch and like a seminar with about 4 different topics. Police come and safety things with how to use the internet. Phones and, things like that. So just some really cool kind of stuff. And that's why we developed programming kind of like that. So we're tasked Nancy with finding some free programs for these essential services. And so she's been working with our sponsorship person, and trying to get things sponsored so we don't have to charge for things if we don't want to. So, and then we're monitoring the free social pass that we did for last year, and just kind of keeping track of that, members we have. And our attendance and participation is up. I think I told you in the last meeting with the Recreation Center that the visits are up and things like that. So we're compiling our WIP programs, it's our wellness insurance programs, like solar chambers and all of those programs where we collect money from those insurance companies that offset some of our costs for not charging them. So we're really moving with a lot of programs going on. Pretty exciting.
And I'll just add one more thing really quickly. Sally and I recently partnered with Swedish right up the road here to bring in some education programming. So they'll have, we'll have a series once a month coming up with different positions that are experts in talk on different topics that affect seniors. So we're really excited about that. And I'm also working with with a new forum, the Creative Aging Forum in town. And that originating through the Denver Art Museum. And it's pretty much everyone in the local area and beyond, it's huge, that offer cultural programming to seniors. And so that's a really good connection. So I'm excited.
Cool.
We can bring in.
I can do it too. There's a.
Yes, and the list goes on. You'll be here all night. Yeah, lots of new stuff coming, so we're really excited. So stay tuned.
Love it, thank you. Does anyone have questions for Nancy Shelley or else? Oh, Steve, did you have a question?
Nope, just piping back into the video. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you. We'll move on to our next item under new business, draft parks and recreation project list for bond initiative.
This is very, well, it's not totally draft, but it's draft. There's copies over there for y'all. The type is pretty small. I was trying to save paper, you didn't get one. We will make sure you get this, once we get the council communication complete. But I'll make sure it's up here on the screen so you might be able to see the screen a little bit better. Okay. And so on the 24th of this month, we're gonna go in front of council to showcase all of the improvements that we would like to do if the bond was to be successful. So a high level overview, the current bond that we have sunsets on December 1st of this year. And we will be putting this hopefully on the ballot in November. We're asking for 50 million for everything. It won't cover all the improvements we need. It's not covering Malley, and this is an aging infrastructure. ERC, the Englewood Recreation Center has some need as well, and it's not gonna cover all of that, but we're looking at really implementing some enhancements to Pirates Cove, the Recreation Center, and our parks. And so right now, we're working with Magellan, who is the gurus of surveying voters to find out if there is a desire from our voting population to pass this bond, and they are very good at what they do. They projected that the bond last fall would pass for streets and police, and it did. And I think they've only gotten it wrong once, and they will tell you that. So they're very proud of what they do. They work with a lot of organizations, a lot of cities, a lot of school districts on this. So you may get the survey, and if you do, please fill it out. Take a little bit of time. There's gonna be under 20 questions. There are detailed questions. We're in the process of developing that with Magellan currently, and that survey will come out in May. And then either end of May or early June, we'll be back in front of council to let council know the survey results. So we won't have anything for the next Parks and Rec board meeting, but we will for June for sure. So we'll keep you all up to date. Anything we send to council, we'll make sure you receive as well. That's all public knowledge. So
That survey is just sent out randomly.
it's random to registered voters.
Okay.
And it only goes to Englewood residents.
Great.
And then July council will have the opportunity to make a decision if they'd like to put this on the ballot for November. So I'll go I'm gonna just do a high level of the parks we're gonna cover. We've shown this, I think, to you all before of what we were looking to do in each of these parks, but Barde Park is one that we called out to improve pathways, the bridge that's out there, make it more ADA compliant, add a little play feature to that park. Charles Hay, which is right across the parking lot, literally has a really nice playground as well, which is open after school hours and on the weekends. We don't need to invest in a huge playground there, because Charles Hay has that. The park's estimated to be about $700,000. Clarkson Amherst Park, this park's just kind of grass, trees, there's really not a lot there, and so improving a pathway through the park, putting a little pump track in there for small bikes to utilize the community garden, as well as some play elements that are more nature themed. It's not a big playground, but it's just something that's interesting to get more people to use that park, and also converting some of their turf to native area. We're doing that in all of these parks. It's kind of a new push with turf replacement programs, drought. We're gonna forever be in a drought conditions, so we want to be cognizant of that. Emerson Park, we'd like to improve a new loop pathway through the park that would connect to the other side of the street, where we're looking to put a nice little playground feature in, a new picnic shelter, adding more trees out there, just kind of dressing up that park some more. That's just under $1 million to do all of that. Miller Field is gonna be a huge change to this park, but I think we're all very excited about how this park will change. So it's almost 7 million for this park, 6.5 million for this. But here's the 3D renderings of what this park could look like with this bond initiative if it does pass. So a spray feature out there, a splash pad type feature, play elements, picnic shelter, a new entryway into the park that still maintains the Miller Field vintage that's out there, that would remain. We lose some of the green space out there, but we still have 2 fields, to utilize. The multi-use field would shrink some. And that's kind of where we're struggling a little bit of, do we want to shrink field space? But this is kind of central city area, and so adding some more play elements to really activate this park is what we're looking to do. The next one is the Northwest Greenbelt. Really, it's reducing the amount of turf that we have out there, going to more native. It's a pass-through park for the most part. We do have playground elements. We want to make this park more ADA compliant and actually add a restroom into this park. One thought we have is if there's a playground of significant size, not like the little nature playgrounds we put out there, is put a restroom there. Yeah, improve this park so it's used. We get a lot of off-leash use out there now. That can still happen. One thought with the native space on the south side of the park is let social trails happen, and then parks will come in the future and establish actual like pressure front type trails. Rotolo Park, this is going to be a pretty big change for this park. Currently, there's a detention area that we use for a sports field, playground, but we'd like to add in a restroom to this park. Since it does have a playground and sports fields, I think parents would love that. As well as pathways that connect to the nearby streets, neighborhoods adjacent street we connect up to. Right now, there's no connection. You just have to walk through the turf. So, then we move into Southwest Greenbelt, which is just right by Rotolo Park, reducing the amount of turf there, improving the pathways, as well as adding another little nature play area to this park. Bellevue's another big cost item here, almost $12 million for this park, but it's a lot to do. A lot of the improvements are pathways, but farm and train area is really what we're focusing on, so. I'm gonna skip adding a pavilion out there with a restroom. Right now, our staff have to run to the restroom that's near the playground area to utilize that, and that has been a major complaint from staff and then also from parents with little ones. That's a long ways to haul to get somebody to a potty. There we go. So here's some 3D renderings of how farm and train can change. We have put in here for a new barn. The barn that's out there is definitely aging, and there's not a lot we can do with it on the inside without it maybe falling down. So
Not excessive.
it's accessible. So enhancing this is the pavilion and restrooms. It would be very close to the barn, the farm / train area. So that would really accommodate the school groups that come out, the day camps that come out in the summertime. And this also includes this fun feature, which is a brand new train that's electric. So we wouldn't have to worry about the diesel, right?
Yes, gas, right?
Oh, it is gas. Nonetheless, it'd be electric. So it'd be ADA compliant, so if an individual's in a wheelchair, they can actually wheel onto one of the cars and ride the train, which we don't have that accessibility now. The cars would be much more accessible. If you've ridden in it as an adult, you gotta switch it. And that train is really aging. I mean, we're running on just a few years left on that, so fingers crossed. That train does cost about $500,000 to get, so it's not cheap, but we know it's loved, and it's also revenue generating. So over time, if this thing lasts another 20-30 years, I mean, it'll make up for the cost. Little Dragon Creek, phase 2, the plaza area is what we're focusing on. This is about $4 million to renovate this. We also would be looking for some additional funding from the Downtown District Authority for some of their funds that they have to really develop this to be a destination. We know there could be a future of apartments, condos coming in nearby that I think this would be a nice attraction, park area for people to use. Hopefully you've all been by there to see the phase 1 renovations. It really did change that, but if we can activate this with more play space, that's what we're looking to do. You can see small in that picture up there, there's a splash pad feature up there as well as a food truck element. So we can have events, we can book the space out for private events or have our own city events listed here. The recreation center, we've covered this before, but adding a flow rider and digging course, this is the ninja course, similar, something we'd be looking at adding in, but that cost is almost 10 million to do this. Again, revenue generating. And then there's been a lot of talk about team programming, after school programming. The pool that we have there is old school. It's not super excited to come visit, small slide. This would be an attraction for all ages who want to try it out. We can do fitness classes with the Ninja course. So a lot of different uses of adding something like this in. And then the wave simulator type set up as well. And I can see birthday parties that being very popular to have rentals with. And then Pirates Cove, around $9 million to remove the competitive pool on the east end of Pirates Cove and put in that slide system right there, something very close to that, if that's not available. That reduces the amount of water we need in the pool below, so we have some water savings and conservation on that part. And then we would also be adding in the mat racer system on the what is that, north side of Pirates Cove, the space that's not utilized currently in Bellevue Park, so we could add that with additional pavilions for rental space as well. And then a leisure pool, lounge type pool, that's shallow, so people can just hang out there. As we've talked about before, that large pool, everybody's hanging out in the shallow end. If you look at Google Earth images, or images we've taken with the drone, everybody's on one side of it. So I'm like, the deep end's only used really for the drop slide and the diving board over there. So I think this would be a lot more attractive at the park. So $50 million for all of this, 30 million for the parks, 9 million for Pirates Cove, and then just under 10 for the recreation center to add in the aquatics elements. So this is what's going to council on the 24th. It's just a conversation, no decisions will be made. We'll get feedback, answer some questions on the bonds, and then we'll bring the Magellan survey back. That's going to be really telling, because if we find out nobody's supporting everybody, the Lord's supporting Pirates Cove, the recreation center, we'll turn our focus then to parks. Or if they support it all, we'll go big and go for it all, which would be very exciting. So that's all I've got on that. What questions do you all have?
I really like this Amherst Park. I go by the park a lot, and it's literally just like nothing. So the idea of a community garden there especially, I love. I think community gardens could be awesome. Other places too, like maybe green belts and stuff. I just think it's a really fun idea. I do also have a question about with the splash pad. I think that's a fun idea, but would you like have guards there, lifeguards or anything like that? Would you have any concerns about dogs always running through this splash pad?
Hey, it's right across from the police.
I mean, I feel like people would think like, yeah, exactly. So
We'll probably see that and
Yeah.
something, signage and stuff.
Okay.
I know how people utilize the dogs.
I know, that's, I have to bring it up. I
Space
have
and
to.
stuff.
I'm sorry.
So regarding the track, I know there was an item in there for Bellevue to look at some of those crumbling
Yeah.
steps and stuff. I think if that's obviously a problem, and there's, I think, more generally an opportunity to focus just on connectivity between the upper tier path and the lower tier path, so there's a more obvious kind of loop, you know, that doesn't, you kind of get stranded right now in parking lots on one end of both the dog park.
Yeah, so we walked that whole park with the consultants and that was their takeoff too, was,
Okay.
you know, the trails diminishing.
Yeah, it's pretty rugged, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice
It's like
nature area, but
Yeah.
it's definitely aged out. Not included in this, but Adrian and I met with a pump track company that we could potentially do like a large pump track on the upper part of Bellevue. Yeah. We get a lot of unhoused population up there, utilizing it and.
It's because it's a quiet parking lot.
Yeah. So if we can activate it differently, we're looking at, we've also looked at disc golf maybe up there as well. We can probably do both. So it's not included in the bond, but we have a very long list of potential park upgrades that we could implement over time, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think the majority of the investment is gonna have to focus on the end that's the highly developed, and that's where the dollars are gonna go.
Yeah.
But probably for a relatively small amount of money, you could do things on the other end of that.
Yeah, and the thing I didn't mention is this also includes updating the irrigation systems in the parks mentioned. All those systems are 30+ years old and failing, and our staff spend a lot of time just maintaining those. So if we can rip those out and put brand new in, efficiency will increase, the amount of time parks is spending on just irrigation will decrease. So, that's in there too, but that's not as sexy as all these other things. So it's just not something we're calling in the public. Yeah.
I
I guess-
guess with all of the improved lighting, I know that we're looking into the solar lighting. Is that something we're thinking about using here?
We're kind of waiting, so the solar lighting that we ordered for Bellevue is not in yet, it gets manufactured in South Africa.
Oh, wow.
Where it's coming from
Yeah.
another continent, and so it's taken a while to get here, we really want to try it out first
Yeah.
before we commit some more.
Sure.
Yeah, to make sure it stays on throughout the night, it does what they say it will do. That's definitely an opportunity to light some of these parks up, easily without doing all the infrastructure of
Yeah.
electrical.
Yeah.
Amazing and a little bit sad that you can't source that kind of material.
Right.
Agreed.
At least North America. Yeah.
I'm just thinking like if we get this new electric train and we do like solar powered lighting, like the whole green element could be really appealing. We should look at it. Any other questions? You guys online?
I have a question, yeah. I love all of these concepts and actually that maintenance, the irrigation, kind of brought me back to, the maintenance question, um, of if we're adding all of the, if we're approved for this $50 million and we're adding all of these new elements into our parks and our recreation, have we thought about what our maintenance budget needs to be to maintain all of these new elements? And if not, maybe we need to think about scaling some of these things back and um, putting a chunk of that money aside for maintenance of those elements. I just want to make sure that whatever new amenities we have, we're able to maintain now and into the future.
Yeah, it's great you're thinking that way, because we are too, we added 10% to the consultants' costs to cover increases, because we don't do this for 2 to 3 years. Costs will go up, but that also includes additional maintenance costs added in as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Does the reduction in the green space also account for any, I guess, decrease in maintenance or decrease in costs from a water and maintenance perspective? Or is that kind of a wash?
It will definitely decrease water usage. I mean, in the beginning, it'll be irrigated to establish. And with our new, more efficient irrigation system, it should be a lot more efficient. We should say in the.
Yeah, like when you're planning to do it at your home, at the Depot Park, that's a great example. It's about 3 years for establishment. So you do have to water it for the first few years, and they can start trickling back, and then eventually it should be pretty sustainable on its own. So it does, the initial investments higher than the long-term costs. So yeah, overall, we will be decreasing the amount of irrigation we'll need in our parks that are called out in this plan significantly over time.
The big bond that is maturing right now, that was 20-some million?
Finance told us it was 12 million. I think we have 600 something left to pay on that. So we're working through all those numbers now. So the messaging for this bond, while your property and taxes will increase, it won't be as much as the initial sticker shock you will see, because it's like half.
Because the eclipse is the old bond.
Right, exactly. So it won't be as much. So, what the consultant was saying, it was, I think, $150 a year if you own a home that's appraised at 500,000, so $500,000 home. Which is like $17 a month, but that the previous bond's not factored into that number, and that's something the consultants are getting that all fine tuned. So when we say, hey, it's gonna be $150 a year, it's really 75, and per month it's less than that, so.
So in your questionnaire then, have you looked at that as asked what people would accept also?
The way they're breaking it down, and we're the second draft, and we haven't seen it yet, it does break down each of these options. So if you say, yes, I'll vote for the recreation centers improvements, it's gonna be X amount of dollars now on your tax bill. If you go for the parks, it's gonna be this. So it breaks down each of the projects, and then one of the last questions will ask you the total amount. Would you vote for a $50 million bond, which would cost you as a taxpayer this amount? Would you still vote yes? So it's gonna help us narrow down the projects, so we'll know, and your council will know, people support the parks. definitely gonna get it on that, and they may say no to recreation or Pirates Cove, or however that plays out, and then we'll know, maybe we pull some of the projects out and not offer those as part of the bonds and reduce that bond somewhat too. But our bond capacity for the city will absorb this very easily. We have plenty of capacity, so our finance team was, Stephen Blake and I, when we said that, that we needed 15 million, we did.
I mean,
So, yeah.
the approach is a single measure.
Yeah.
Single bond.
At this point in time, it's a single bond, and granted, if projects get pulled out, we may wait 5 to 10 years and then go after another.
Small.
Yeah, and interest rates are kind of high right now, so I
Yeah.
understand you can refinance the bonds and get a lower interest rate over time. There's a lot of options, and definitely we're in Parks and Rec, I'm not in finance, so.
Yeah.
a lot right now.
We just have to take one round of bus.
Right. So, more to come, we'll keep you all updated as we inform council, and we are working on getting an updated website that will cover all of this, so you as a resident can log on to our website and check out each of these projects to get more information about them, so you know what's coming if you were to miss.
Thanks. All right. That is new business, old business, park renovation update.
I'll actually let Adrian take this one, because you just got the updated.
Yes, well, actually, I'm just gonna put them together. Projects and survey updates, so. Baker is 99% done. They had an issue with some drainage, so they're fixing that, so that should be done pretty soon. Then there's wood fibers in, so very excited. If you haven't been up to Baker, it's a huge change, so. Centennial, there is a semi-load of pieces that's in the parking lot, so we got our pieces that we've been waiting for so long, so.
Peaches.
Pieces.
Awesome, yeah.
That's different.
I heard peaches. Wait, you know, not the law, it's.
Beach season.
They ship them with their lights.
Yeah.
So install date on that is, the 24th of this month. So that, you know, they're fairly quick putting them up once the install crew gets there. So Centennial will hopefully be done real soon too. So we're excited we can open all 3 of our parks, Cushing and Baker and Centennial. So long time coming, and we appreciate everybody's patience. It's been, we've got a lot of emails and calls, so. But we're excited about that. Our Arapahoe County Open Space Grant's complete. We applied for 600,000. The total project's like roughly 1.3 million. City Council approved the resolution on April 3rd, and we submitted it this morning. So that'll be awarded at the end of July and the beginning of August. So thank you to those who gave me support letters. I attached those to the grant, and we got quite a few. So pretty excited about that one as well. We sold all of our 71 Arbor Day trees, so they'll get delivered tomorrow. Guys will deliver them between 7 and 2 roughly. So we've had a lot of success doing it online over the last several years. So we did order a few extra for us that were planted at the nursery at the golf course. So we'll continue to take trees and plant trees. So another Arbor Day thing that we're pretty excited about is our Englewood Arbor Day poster contest winner actually won the state.
Oh,
the state award. So,
nice.
her art's displayed at the town gardens.
Yeah.
You know, that's a statewide contest. So some of us remember doing that when we were kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty big deal for us. We were also awarded a $5,000 grant from the Colorado Regional Air Quality Council. To purchase some zero emission hand tools, so electric powered chainsaws and blowers, some push mowers. We have to match that with 40%. So we've been slowly transitioning to more battery powered stuff. Guys seem to like it, and it seems to work well. So, okay, now to the bad stuff, guys. We've been having a lot of dog related issues at the Englewood Finest and at Jason Park. So a lot of, it was something we didn't anticipate. They are going into Jason and closing the gates, and then it's essentially a canine corral. That's, yeah, so we put up signs, code enforcement is really doing extra patrols, so we're trying something we didn't anticipate. We're working with the schools over at Finance to put up more no dogs allowed signs, and code enforcement's also making sweeps through there, so.
Can we do all the maintenance and stuff over there now? Colorado Springs?
We do the outside, so we have the soccer field, and then we have the pickleball courts and the basketball courts. Here's what our responsibility is. For the IGA, we switched from Hosanna, we made a trade a few years back on that. All right, back to the good stuff. We met with Elite Construction on Wednesday at Base 11 for phase 1. They're working with Excel Energy for some temporary power for our irrigation system before they tear those buildings down. So demo will most likely start June for the old restroom and the new shelter. They're kind of holding off a little bit because they have to wait so long for the restroom to come in. So I think the restrooms due in towards August timeframe. So they kind of want to do it all at once. So we're not opening the public.
I think it was a 20-week lead time.
Yes.
Once ordered, so quite a while.
So we should see some movement at base on phase 1 soon. We received our B City USA designation for 2003. And then just. Yeah, as long as day 1. You know, and just a general update. Guys are busy doing restrooms, you know, athletic fields, full permanent irrigation systems on, so we're, you know, full summer. So you'll see us out there. That's all. I have. Any questions? Besides Jim and Peaches?
Yeah. Let me know when you have the pizza.
They're like, where's Peaches at?
Any questions online? You guys good? Move on from old business to staff's choice. Go this way.
Alice, are you gonna talk about celebrating? No, that was you want to? Okay, so before this, Patricia being celebrate Englewood on Saturday, May 6th. March. Wow, we're really struggling. Basically, over at the Civic Center in the roundabout area. And we'll have touch a truck from the whole time, but 10 to 2 is the event time, 9:45 to 10:15 is the sensory time, so be very quiet. For adults and kids who may need quiet time to visit the trucks and check them out. Lots of vendors will be there, city booths, food trucks, various things, so come on out if you wanna check out Celebrate Englewood on May 6th. Oh, and just a reminder, joint CIP meeting, I think Christine and Kate will be there, so. Yeah. That should start at 7. We will send an update to you all.
Okay.
Actually, if you want to come early, we're doing this presentation on the bond at 6 as part of the study session. So if you're interested in tuning in for that online or actually coming in person, feel free to do that.
And I actually do have, the city is currently in the boarding commission appointment process. We have a member that has not been coming to the meetings. We have the opportunity to post that vacancy for appointment. But in order to do that, we need to have council declare the vacancy. So we're hoping to get support of the commission to bring it forth to council. So, if we could get a motion to, take Monica Johnson's seat before council to declare vacant to fill in this next boarding commission appointment process.
So moved.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Kirsten. I was wondering like what's going on.
No, I did several emails and called her and just did not get a response. So no, at one point you know, her job had changed in
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
thank you. We'll get that brought before council. We have that ready to go.
That's the only seat available, right?
It
There's,
is.
like, the junior seat too.
Yeah, and council or the city is forming a youth advisory
Oh,
council.
cool.
Yeah, I was still just pulled up the flyer, so
Yeah,
they're promoting that right now for
Okay.
members,
Cool.
ages 9 in high school.
we're hoping some,
They'll want to be on the group.
Yeah.
Individual, yeah, definitely. Good advice.
So if you know somebody, the application process is going on right now.
I'm gonna be presenting the student council for the Leadership Academy. And one of the things I mentioned was, again, it's that age group that we've talked about here before, middle schoolers, tweens to teens. And I'm gonna really hit hard on that, and the student Parks and Recreation Commission, and see if we can't find someone.
They can have first dibs at on the surf simulator if they join our commission. That's what we gotta do. Right, where you gonna get you immediate hiring at Pirates Cove.
There you go.
And the ninja, of course.
Yeah, whatever they want, give you kids.
Yeah.
So. Oh, my God.
Great, love it.
No, I mean, just to say, if you ever have an idea or a trip excursion idea or a program that you'd like to see, you know, we're all ears here, so
Cool.
don't hesitate to reach out.
Just that he's advisable.
Cool, all right, staff's choice. Commissioner's choice, so,
I'm not, I mean,
Cody,
I don't,
Jim,
no, I don't have any.
you guys are easy.
Yeah.
Karen? Okay, 2 online, how about you, Steve, anything?
I'm good. Good to see you guys. Sorry I missed last month. I was covered in hand, foot, and mouth sores everywhere.
Oh.
I assume you didn't want me in the meeting. Debbie said I could.
Yeah, thanks, Steve, we appreciate that.
Christine,
I don't have anything, but thank you.
how about you, Gary?
There is a fundraiser tonight at Panda. If anybody hasn't had dinner yet for the middle school in ELA, they provide 20% just to give that a little shout out. And that was great to see y'all. Sorry I couldn't be there, still working. So you guys have a great evening.
Which Canada, which,
It's Panda on Broadway, just north of what is it, across from Twin Dragons there, just north of Dartmouth.
perfect, thanks.
The only thing I had is that I was driving and I heard a Pirates Cove commercial the other day, hiring lifeguards, that was really exciting, so I don't know if you've gotten any interest or anything, but
Good you heard it.
yeah, I heard it, I was like, okay, let's get some lifeguards.
I saw it was one.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, not an advertiser,
No.
you have the actual anchors talking about,
Love it.
so.
We brag them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing a lot of outreach for hiring, which in hopes it's also advertising Pirates Cove.
Totally.
Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah, it sounded really good, I was just like, oh, hey. I was excited. All right.
It looked like we're gonna have deep water and, swimming lessons.
To be determined, I don't want to jinx it, but definitely a different situation than what we experienced last year. Last year, we are seeing a lot more applications coming in, especially over the weekends, like one weekend we got 8 apps, we'll take it, you know.
Wow.
But we do need quite a bit still, so. You know, anybody just tell them to come to work, the coolest work in Kentucky.
I'll bring that up too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Perfect.
good idea.
summer jobs, Pirates Cove.
Exactly.
Well, if there's nothing else, then we will adjourn this meeting.
Perfect.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, guys. See ya.